She cried in court, wore a neck brace, told the judge I ruined everything. But I'm the one who still wakes up at 3 a.m. replaying the moment it all began. It was 11:43 p.m. on a quiet Thursday night. I was lying in bed, half asleep, scrolling through some sports highlights when my phone suddenly lit up. Not one message. Not two. A wall of messages from my girlfriend, Natalie. I can't do this anymore. Your refusal to commit has broken me. I'm at Memorial having a breakdown. This is all your fault. I needed you to propose and you just kept stalling. Now look what you've done to me. For a second, I just froze. My stomach twisted like someone had punched me from the inside. We'd been together for 3 years, living together for 1. Sure, we'd talked about marriage. She wanted a ring by our next anniversary. I told her I wanted to wait until I got promoted. Another year. I thought we were on the same page. But now, she was in the hospital because of me? My hands were shaking. I didn't even put on fresh clothes, I just grabbed yesterday's jeans, shoved my feet into my sneakers, and bolted out the door. I drove like a maniac through empty streets, my headlights cutting through the darkness. By the time I burst through the ER doors, my chest was tight, and my heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Hi, my girlfriend, Natalie Hendress. 29. She said she's here. Mental health emergency. The nurse typed something into her computer. Frowned. Checked again. Called someone. Then she looked back at me, voice gentle but firm. Sir, we don't have anyone by that name. No admissions tonight matching that description. I felt the floor tilt beneath me. Maybe she checked in under a different name? She's 5 feet 6 inches, brunette, brown eyes. She has to be here. She shook her head. I'm sorry. No one matching that either. I walked back to my car in a daze. Called her. Straight to voicemail. Texted her best friend Carly. No answer. I just sat there in the hospital parking lot, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. And then I remembered something. We shared our locations. She'd insisted on it last year, for safety reasons. I opened Find My phone. There it was, her little dot blinking. Only she wasn't anywhere near the hospital. She was 47 miles away, at the Grand View Resort and Spa. A resort. At midnight. I stared at the screen for a long time, the glow lighting up the inside of my car. My ears were ringing. My brain was trying to make sense of something that made no sense at all. And then a name flashed in my mind like a neon sign, Derek. Derek from work. The guy she was mentoring. The guy who texted her good morning every single day like it was his job. I remembered overhearing him say he was taking PTO this week. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there, replaying every conversation, every time she got busy or came home late smelling like expensive cologne that wasn't mine. By 6 a.m., something in me snapped. I opened her laptop. She'd shown me her passwords before and never changed them. One click into her credit card account and, boom. Resort booking. 2 adults. King bed. Spa package. Under his name. Derek Morrison. I can't even describe the feeling that washed over me. It wasn't sadness. It wasn't just rage either. It was like someone had flipped a switch in my chest. That fake hospital text blaming me for everything? That was the match on the gasoline. She wanted to guilt trip me about commitment, while she was out playing house with another man. Oh, no. No. I called in sick to work that Friday. Walked into a florist and asked for the most over-the-top, romantic gesture they had, 24 long-stemmed red roses. The kind you only buy when you're making a statement. And then I made another call. Hey, Mrs. Hicks. It's Jake. Yeah, I know it's late. Natalie's been really down lately, and I want to fix things. Maybe if you and Mr. H came over tomorrow afternoon, we could all talk? Say, around 2 p.m.? Yeah. The apartment. I think it would mean a lot to her. Her mom agreed immediately. Of course she did. Saturday. 1:30 p.m. roses in the passenger seat. My heart pounding. My hands steady now, though. I pulled into the Grand View Resort parking lot. Showtime. The resort was one of those over-the-top, rich people on vacation places, the kind where the air in the lobby smells like expensive candles and the marble floors shine like they were polished every 5 minutes. I walked in holding those 24 roses like I was the most devoted, love-struck boyfriend in the world. I smiled at the front desk like this was just some sweet surprise. Hi, I said, steady as ever. I'm surprising my girlfriend, Natalie Hendress. She's here with a friend. The receptionist gave me that polite, practiced smile. I can't give out room information, sir, but I can call up for you. Actually, I leaned on the counter a little, keeping my voice calm. She loves the pool. Could you check if she's there? She made a quick call, then nodded. Yes, they're at the pool. I walked out toward the infinity pool, roses still in my hand. And that's where I saw her. Natalie. In a bikini I'd never seen before. Straddling Derek on a lounger like something straight out of a bad rom-com, they were making out like 2 teenagers sneaking around after curfew. His hands were definitely not where a mentee should be touching a mentor. I stood there for 30 seconds, just watching. Just letting the reality of it sink in. The smell of chlorine in the air. The sound of water lapping against the pool's edge. My girlfriend's laugh, the same one I used to love hearing in our kitchen on Sunday mornings. Part of me wanted to throw the roses into the pool. Part of me wanted to yell. But instead, I pulled out my phone, snapped 3 clear photos, turned around, and walked away. Not a word. When I got home, I filled a vase with water and put the roses right in the center of our dining table. They looked almost poetic there, like the final decoration for a relationship that was about to blow up. At exactly 2 p.m., Natalie's parents showed up. Her mom, Linda, was already halfway through asking, "Where's Natalie?" before I even got to the door. "Great question, Linda," I said with a calmness that surprised even me. "She should be here soon." We made small talk over coffee. Her dad, Robert, kept glancing at his watch like he could feel something was coming. And then, at 2:47 p.m., I heard her key in the lock. The door opened. Natalie walked in glowing, skin sun-kissed, hair still damp from the pool. Derek followed right behind her, carrying her weekend bag. Then they froze. "Mom? Dad? What are you doing here?" Linda stood up slowly. "Jake called us. Said you were having a crisis. Said you were struggling with your mental health because of commitment problems." Natalie's face went pale. Derek, bless his cowardly heart, started inching backward toward the door like a kid caught stealing snacks. Robert's voice was like steel. "And you are?" Derek cleared his throat. Derek. I'm Derek from work. The coworker she's mentoring," I added helpfully, leaning back in my chair. "The one who needed so much guidance it required a couple's spa weekend." "Jake, I can explain," she finally stammered. "Like you explained being in the hospital Thursday night?" I pulled out my phone and showed her parents the text. "Like you explained having a breakdown that was supposedly my fault?" Linda's eyes scanned the messages. Her face got redder with each line. "Natalie Marie Hendress," she hissed, "you told him you were in the hospital." "Mom, you don't understand. While you were at a resort with this man?" Robert's voice was low and controlled in a way that was honestly scarier than yelling. Derek muttered something about needing to leave, but Robert stepped right in front of him. "Sit down." And he did. I opened my phone again, pulled up the photos from the pool, and placed it on the table. "This was an hour ago," I said evenly. "While I was out buying flowers to apologize for supposedly driving her to a mental health crisis." Linda started to cry. Robert's jaw tightened so hard I thought I could hear it. Natalie went into damage control mode like her life depended on it. "It's not what it looks like. Jake and I were having problems. He wouldn't commit. Derek was just what?" I cut in. "Comforting you with his tongue?" She glared at me. "You were never going to propose. 3 years, Jake. 3 years. Derek actually wants a future with me." That's when the best part happened. Derek turned pale. Nat," he started, we talked about this being casual." She whipped around like she'd just been slapped. "What?" He held up his hands. "I mean, you said you needed something fun. No pressure. Just fun." The look on her face, priceless. The absolute shock that the man she blew up our relationship for didn't even want to date her seriously. I couldn't help it. I actually laughed. This is beautiful," I said, shaking my head. "You nuked our relationship for a guy who thinks you're a booty call." Robert stood up. "Pack your things. You're coming home with us." "Dad, I'm 29 years old. Pack your things." She turned to me, tears starting to spill. "Jake, please. We can talk about this." I met her eyes, steady and cold. "We could have talked Thursday night. But you chose manipulation. You chose lies. Now, you can pack." And for the first time in years, I watched her realize she'd lost everything, not because of me, but because of herself. While Natalie was upstairs sobbing and throwing clothes into suitcases like she was auditioning for a telenovela, her mom cornered Derek in the living room. "How long?" Linda's voice could have frozen hell itself. Derek looked like a deer caught in headlights. 2 months. We've been, seeing each other for 2 months." Robert's jaw clenched so tight I thought I heard a crack. 65 years old, retired accountant, and in that moment he looked one heartbeat away from body slamming a 27-year-old gym bro into my coffee table. "She said you two were basically broken up," Derek stammered, hands up like someone had just pulled a gun on him. "She said he was emotionally unavailable." I let out a sharp laugh before I could stop myself. "Emotionally unavailable? Buddy, I literally scheduled monthly relationship check-ins because she asked me to. I went to her nephew's recorder recital last week. If that's emotionally unavailable, I'd hate to see what she calls commitment." Natalie emerged then, dragging 2 massive suitcases, her mascara streaked down her cheeks like she'd gone 10 rounds with a box of tissues. "Where am I supposed to go?" "Home," Linda said, firm and cold. Natalie's head snapped up. "Mom, you're taking his side?" Linda didn't even blink. "You lied about being in a hospital. You used mental health to manipulate him. And you cheated. What side should I take?" And right on cue, Natalie did what Natalie always did when she was cornered. She went nuclear. "Fine," she shouted, voice shaking. "You want the truth? Jake is boring. He plans everything. He saves receipts. He wants to wait for the right time for everything. Derek is spontaneous. He makes me feel alive." Derek was quietly inching toward the door like a man realizing he'd accidentally walked into a live grenade. "Yeah, so I should go," he mumbled. "Oh no, you're not going anywhere." Natalie grabbed his arm like a lifeline. Tell them how you promised we'd travel. How you said I deserved better." Derek looked at her like a trapped animal. "I mean, those were just things people say. In the moment." You could see it hit her, the penny finally dropped. Her eyes went wide, voice breaking. "You said you loved me." "In the moment," he repeated, shrinking under everyone's stare. It was contextual. I opened the fridge, grabbed a beer, and leaned against the counter. Honestly, this was better than Netflix. Robert finally spoke, his voice low and calm in a way that carried real weight. "Derek, get out. If I see you near my daughter again, we'll have problems." Derek didn't need to be told twice. He bolted, didn't even say goodbye. Natalie turned on me, eyes blazing. "This is what you wanted. To humiliate me. No, I said evenly. What I wanted was a girlfriend who didn't fake psychiatric emergencies to guilt-trip me while sleeping with her coworker. Her face twisted with rage. She grabbed a vase, not the roses, thankfully, and hurled it at the wall. It exploded into 100 glittering shards. That's coming out of your deposit. I yelled after her. Linda had to physically drag her out the door while Natalie screamed about how I'd ruined her life, how Derek was her soulmate, and how she deserved better. Robert lingered for a second, hand on the doorframe, looking tired in a way only a parent can. Jake, he said quietly. I'm sorry. We didn't raise her to be like this. I know, Robert, I told him. This isn't on you. Then they were gone. The apartment went still. Quiet. Just me, the sound of the fridge humming, and the roses on the table, like the last prop in a play that had just ended. I ordered a pizza. Sat down. Breathed. And then? I saw her journal. She'd left it behind on the shelf. Look, I know. Privacy. Boundaries. But she just detonated my life like a hand grenade, so yeah, I opened it. The entries went back months. Pages and pages of complaints about me not proposing fast enough. About how I was too safe and too predictable. But also, 5 other guys she'd been texting. Derek was just the one who actually took the bait. The entitlement jumped off the page. One entry, 3 weeks old. Jake will never change. Too safe. Too predictable. I need someone who chooses me immediately. I deserve the fairy tale. If he won't give it, someone will. I sat there in silence for a while, the words burning into my brain. Then I calmly took photos of every single page. Evidence. Not that I needed it, but it felt good to hold on to the truth after being lied to so thoroughly. Sunday was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet where you almost know the storm isn't over, it's just circling back for a second round. And sure enough, Monday hit like a freight train. I rolled over at 7 a.m., grabbed my phone, and saw 73 Instagram notifications waiting for me. Natalie had been busy. Her stories were a greatest hits compilation of manipulative melodrama. When you give 3 years to someone who won't commit broken heart. #wasted time. Mental health matters. But some people only care about themselves. Starting fresh. Goodbye toxic victory hand. And then my personal favorite, a close-up of her hand with a single band-aid on her finger. Caption, healing from more than just this. The kicker? The band-aid was covering absolutely nothing. I knew, because she came by at 5 a.m., thinking I was asleep, and my Ring doorbell caught her carefully applying it before taking the photo. By noon, the messages started rolling in. Half our mutual friends were guilt-tripping me, calling me cruel for exposing her. The other half? They were sending me screenshots of Derek's Instagram. There he was. Saturday night. In a club. With another girl. Caption, drama-free zone. But the real circus didn't start until Natalie's mom called me. Jake, I'm sorry to bother you, Linda said, her voice shaking, but Natalie's telling people you have explicit photos of her and you're threatening to release them. I sat up straight. What? I know, honey. I know it's not true. But she's saying that's why she had to leave so quickly. I was done. Done with the lies. Done with the games. I called my buddy, he's a lawyer. Can I sue for defamation? I asked. You could, he said. But honestly? Just document everything. She'll hang herself with her own rope. So, I did something a little petty. A little surgical. I posted my own Instagram story, just a screenshot of her hospital text with a caption underneath. Thursday 11:43 p.m. versus Friday GPS location. Hospitals don't have infinity pools. Natalie exploded. She called me from her mom's number because I'd already blocked her. Take it down now, she snapped. No. I'll call the cops. I'll say you're harassing me. Cool, I said calmly. And I'll show them your journal. The part where you detailed how you were going to baby trap me if I didn't propose by Christmas. Silence. Oh yeah, I added, page 47. You even tracked your ovulation dates. Impressive planning. You read my journal? She hissed. You left it behind in my apartment, I replied. That's legally abandoned property. She started crying, but not the sad, broken kind. No. These were angry tears. You've ruined everything, she spat. Derek won't answer my calls. My friends think I'm psycho. Even my parents are disappointed. Sounds like a you problem. I hate you. You were supposed to fight for me. You were supposed to chase me. Prove you loved me. And there it was. The truth, raw and unpolished. She'd wanted me to run after her, while she was off with another man. I took a slow breath. I did realize what I was losing, Natalie. A manipulative liar. I'm good with that loss. She hung up. Tuesday, HR from my company called. Hey, this is awkward, the woman said. We got a complaint from someone named Natalie? She says you're creating a hostile work environment. She doesn't work here, I said flatly. Yeah, she sighed. We figured. But we had to follow protocol. Case closed. I almost laughed. Wednesday, she tried again. This time through Carly. Nat's really struggling, Carly texted. She's been prescribed antidepressants. This whole thing has traumatized her. Good, I replied. Maybe therapy will help her understand faking hospital stays isn't love. Wow, you really are heartless. No, Carly. I'm just done being manipulated. Also, ask her why she told Derek she was on birth control when she wasn't. What? Page 52. She was trying to get pregnant by whoever proposed first. Carly didn't respond. But an hour later, I saw her Instagram story. When you realize your friend isn't who you thought she was. Distance needed. Thursday morning. 6 a.m. doorbell. It was Robert. "Jake, sorry to bother you," he said softly. "Can we talk?" I let him in. Made coffee. He stood there awkwardly for a moment, hands wrapped around the mug like it was the only thing keeping him steady. "I need to know," he said finally. "Was she always like this?" I could have lied. Could have sugarcoated it. But he deserved better. The red flags were there, I admitted. I just ignored them. The little lies. The guilt trips. The silent treatment when I didn't do exactly what she wanted. I thought it was just normal relationship stuff. I made excuses because I loved her. He nodded, eyes tired. We enabled her. Her mother and I. Always making excuses. She's sensitive. She's passionate. But really, we failed her. "No," I said quietly. "You loved her. That's not failure." He gave me a sad, crooked smile. Then, out of nowhere, pulled me into one of those awkward dad hugs, tight, a little shaky, but real. And for the first time since this whole disaster started, the weight on my chest felt just a little bit lighter. Friday was supposed to be my peace day. No drama. No texts. No door slamming. Just me, some music, open windows, and a mission to scrub every last trace of Natalie out of my apartment. I'd already boxed up the few things she'd left behind, cleaned the windows, vacuumed every corner, and lit a candle that made the place smell like eucalyptus and fresh starts. I was actually happy. Then, at 2 p.m., the doorbell rang. Standing there was Derek. With a black eye. "Dude," he said. "We need to talk." Against my better judgment, I let him in. "Nice shiner," I said dryly. He gave a short, awkward laugh. "Yeah, Natalie's dad. Robert actually showed up at my gym." I stared at him for a second, then laughed. Robert threw hands after all. Legend. Derek sat on the couch, looking more nervous than guilty. "Look, Jake, I'm sorry about everything. But I need to tell you something." I folded my arms. "What now?" "Natalie's planning something." The way he said it made my stomach tighten. "She called me drunk last night," he continued. "Said she's gonna make you pay. That she knows how to get what she deserves. She mentioned your lease, said she has copies of documents, and that she's been in contact with some guy named Garrett." "Garrett? My landlord." "She also said she still has a key." I shook my head. "I changed the locks." "She said she made a copy of the new one. 3 weeks ago. When you were sleeping." And just like that, my blood went cold. 3 weeks ago. I remembered that night. She'd been extra affectionate, told me to sleep in, and I'd handed her my keys so she could grab breakfast early. I should have known. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. Derek shifted uncomfortably. "Because what she's doing is crazy. And now she's telling people I forced her into everything. That I pursued her. That's not true, man. She came after me hard. I've got texts to prove it. She's trying to burn both of us down." I grabbed my phone and opened my security app. No unusual activity, yet. But that didn't mean she wouldn't try. That same afternoon, I had every single lock changed again. This time, electronic keypad locks. No keys to copy. No more loopholes. Saturday morning, 8 a.m., I woke up to an email from my landlord. "Jake, I've received concerning information about unauthorized occupants and potential lease violations. We need to discuss this immediately." My heart sank. I called him right away. "Garrett, what's going on?" He sighed heavily. "Your ex-girlfriend contacted me. Says she's been living there for 2 years, has tenant rights, and that you illegally evicted her." I nearly laughed. "She's never even been on the lease. She moved in a year ago, and she left voluntarily last week. She provided documents," Garrett said. "Mail with her name on your address. Claimed she paid part of the rent. Sent me Venmo screenshots." I pulled up Venmo. There it was. $50 a month from her, labeled utilities. $400 a month from me to her, labeled shopping. "Garrett," I said, pinching the bridge of my nose, "she gave me $50 for utilities. I gave her $400 a month for her personal crap. She's trying to make it look like she paid rent. She didn't." He sighed again. "I figured. But she's making a formal claim. I need all your documentation. Bank statements. Lease agreements. Anything you've got. This is a mess." So that's how I spent my Saturday. Sorting through bank statements, old texts, and every document tied to that apartment. And then I found it. She'd been having mail sent to my address for months. Credit cards. Subscription boxes. Even a parking ticket. She'd been building a paper trail. I called my lawyer buddy Tom again. "Tom, it's getting worse." We went through everything. His verdict was calm but sharp. "She's attempting fraud. But she's sloppy. Keep documenting everything. If she tries to get in again, call the cops immediately." Sunday night. 11 p.m. My phone buzzed with a motion alert from the Ring camera. Natalie. Standing at my door. With some guy I didn't recognize. He had a set of tools in his hand. My heart started pounding. I called 911 immediately. "Someone's trying to break into my apartment," I said. On my phone, I watched as they started working on the lock. The keypad lock held strong, but hearing the clicking sound in real time sent a chill through my chest. 8 minutes later, flashing red and blue lights painted the hallway. The guy bolted the second he saw the cops. "Natalie?" She tried to play it cool. "Officers, I live here. I just got locked out," she said, wide-eyed and innocent. One of the officers turned to me. "Sir?" "She doesn't live here," I said flatly. "She's my boyfriend," she blurted. "We had a fight. I just came outside to clear my head." "Ex-girlfriend," I corrected. "She moved out a week ago. She has no legal right to be here." I showed the officers everything, the hospital text, the lease with only my name, her parents' contact info confirming she lives with them now. They didn't hesitate. Natalie was arrested for attempted breaking and entering. I stood behind the door after they took her away, breathing slowly. My apartment smelled like lemon cleaner and quiet again. But this time, the silence didn't feel heavy. It felt like safety. Natalie spent Sunday night in jail. Monday morning, my phone lit up with a call from Linda. I could hear the tears in her voice before she even got a full sentence out. "Jake, I'm so sorry. We had no idea she'd go this far." "Is she okay?" I asked flatly. Not because I cared much at this point, but because I knew that was what decent people were supposed to ask. We're bailing her out now. Robert's furious. We're getting her help. Real help this time." I believed her. I also knew that wouldn't be the end of it. And sure enough, Tuesday morning, I opened my door to a process server. She was suing me. Illegal eviction. Emotional distress. Defamation. Stolen property. Yes, apparently I stole her toothbrush. Lost wages from trauma. Total amount, $50,000. I took the papers straight to Tom, my lawyer friend. He read the complaint, blinked twice, and then burst out laughing. "This is toilet paper," he said between chuckles. Her attorney must be desperate for work. The court date was set for 3 weeks out. I wasn't even scared. I was just exhausted. But those 3 weeks? Hell. Natalie went scorched earth on social media. Daily posts about surviving narcissistic abuse. She launched a blog called Dating a Sociopath, My Story. She made TikToks about red flags in men that were just thinly veiled jabs at me. He keeps receipts. He won't commit after years of stringing you along. He turns everything around on you. She wanted sympathy. But the internet wasn't giving it to her. People in the comments weren't buying it. "Girl, didn't you fake being in a hospital? Weren't you the one caught breaking into his apartment? This doesn't sound like abuse. This sounds like consequences." She deleted, blocked, reposted. But screenshots spread fast. Then Derek dropped a bomb in one of her comments. "This is fiction. You pursued me while living with him. I have receipts." She nuked the entire video 5 minutes later. Finally, court day. I showed up in my best suit with Tom beside me, carrying a 2-inch thick folder of evidence. "Natalie?" She showed up, in a neck brace. "A neck brace?" Tom muttered under his breath. "She's really going for the daytime soap opera angle, huh?" Her lawyer opened with claims that I'd physically removed her from the apartment, violently. The judge leaned forward. "Do you have any evidence of this?" "My client's emotional testimony," her lawyer said. "Physical evidence, counselor," the judge repeated, unimpressed. They had none. So I began. Text showing she left voluntarily. Sworn statements from her parents confirming she moved home. Her hospital lie. Ring footage of the attempted break-in. Her journal entries about baby trapping. Derek's written statement saying she pursued him. Bank records showing she never paid rent. The police report from her arrest. An hour in, the judge raised a hand. "Miss Hendress," he said, voice sharp, "did you fake a psychiatric emergency?" She shifted in her chair. I was emotionally distressed. "Yes or no?" "Yes." "Did you attempt to break into Mr. Peterson's apartment after moving out?" "I still had property there." "Yes or no, Miss Hendress?" "Yes." Case dismissed. "Miss Hendress, you're lucky Mr. Peterson isn't countersuing. I suggest you leave him alone permanently." Her lawyer started whispering furiously, but Natalie stood up anyway. "Your Honor, what about my emotional damages?" she blurted. The judge just stared over his glasses. "You mean the damages from the consequences of your own actions?" "Counselor, control your client." Outside the courthouse, Natalie had her grand finale. Full volume. Full drama. In public. "You ruined my life," she screamed. "I gave you 3 years. I kept my voice calm. And you gave Derek 2 months. While we were together. I deserved better," she shouted. "No," I said quietly. "You got someone who fought against your lies. That's what you deserved." Robert and Linda had to physically carry her to the car. Linda mouthed, "I'm sorry," as they drove away. That was 6 weeks ago. From what I've heard through the grapevine. She's still living with her parents. Derek filed a restraining order after she showed up at his place. She got fired from her job for too many mental health absences. She started dating someone new from an app. He ghosted her after Googling her name. She's in court-mandated therapy from the break-in. And me? I'm doing good. The apartment's peaceful. I met someone new at a bookstore. She actually thinks my keeping receipts habit is endearing. On our 3rd date, I told her the whole Natalie story. She just shook her head and said, "Wow. Bullet dodged." Got promoted at work, too. Apparently not having daily chaos improves your performance. Who knew? Sometimes I still think about those 3 years. Not with regret, but with clarity. My therapist, yeah, I got one too, told me it doesn't matter whether I missed the signs or she hid them well. What matters is that when the mask slipped, I acted. I still have those roses. I dried them, framed them, and hung them in my bathroom with a little plaque beneath. Trust your gut. 2024. A reminder that when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And if they ever fake a psychiatric emergency to manipulate you, run. Run fast. Run far. Change your locks. Twice. Oh, and the entitlement? It never really dies. Last week I got a Venmo request from Natalie. $3,000. Note, for therapy you caused. I declined. Then sent her 1 cent with the note, for the hospital visit that never happened. She finally blocked me. Best cent I've ever spent.